Still scoring like Mo Salah, but you won't see me on the wing. Oh, that's your girl I didn't know, brother. She was really trying to get it in. She was trying to give me blows, whoa, I didn't even say a thing. I don't force girls, I get girl force. Shorty blowing like the wind. Still winning, man, I can't lose. Had to hit him with a part two. Pretty girls, let me touch it. You got no touch, Lukaku. I finesse it, ain't hard to. I just R1 and then R2. I can run through if I want to. Like a through ball, I just pass through.
Welcome back to Relegation Battle. A big week of European football, a lot of upsets, a lot of big games. So we'll dive straight into it. Start with Europa League as well. Jack, I know is still a bit fresh, but I mean, I missed the games, I only watched the highlights, but I think it's the same thing all around. Spoke about the fans. It wasn't a disappointing, poor performance, just not clinical enough, really. So how do you analyse it?
We started very well. I thought, for some reason, I had in my mind we were going to start slow again. But no, we started very well. We scored another penalty in the 7th, 8th minute. But then we kind of let them have the ball. I think we let them have the ball for a bit too long, too much, and then they got a bit more confident. They grew into the game, but second half, I thought we were excellent. But that first 10, 15 minutes, we had about 6 chances quite close together and we didn't score one. And then when you gift them 2 goals, you're always going to lose the game.
Before we talk about the goals, so when it comes to transfers, mainly with United, Indo Sancho is the main one. I think you'd agree that most fans want to improve your defence. But so against Copenhagen and Sevilla, you had 46 shots. The only 2 goals scored are both from penalties. Is that a bit worrying for you?
It's always worrying when you don't score. You got Martial, Greenwood and Rashford up, both playing the 2 games and they don't score. Oh, yeah, they don't score. Bruno scores 2 penalties. I mean, it's not great, but I do have confidence in them. I feel like that defence just needs more work than the attack. We've shown already this season that the attack, we can rely on them. Yeah, these 2 games, they haven't played well. I mean, they have played well, but they've not taken their chances. But the defence still looks shaky.
So both goals still just crosses, really. First one, just on the left and off the back post. I'm not sure what Brandon Williams was. Then second one, Brandon Williams belched up the cross, but then De Jong's in between Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof, which obviously led to Bruno and Lindelof having a bit of a spat in the pitch as well. Is it just a matter of signing a centre-half as quick as possible, or is it just maybe giving them a bit more time to gel together?
The thing is, we had the 3rd best defence in Europe. Yeah, you can say we play in the Europa League, but it's not like Lindelof and Maguire playing in the Europa League. It's normally Bailly. So it's not about gelling. I think they've over the season they've actually played quite well. It's just there's little moments that make a big effect. I mean, no one brings out. No one brings out the positives. It's always the negatives. It's always the one mistake. Yeah, I know in football that one mistake leads to a goal when you're a defender. But I just feel like it's not. I think a centre back is needed, but it can't just be anyone. It needs someone that complements them well. So at the moment, Lindelof and Maguire are a bit too similar. I know Maguire's better in the air, but they're both not the quickest. So it's not like if one did lose a header or one gets beaten, the other one can't cover them because they're not quick enough. That's where we need, I think, a bit tall, commanding and quick centre-half.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was the general thing. It wasn't like everyone going Ole or the team. It was one of those days where it didn't go right. Yeah. But you do have to look at the other side of things, Tom. Man United have reached 3 semi-finals this year, and they've just failed to get to that final, reach over that last hurdle. Do you think that will be a long-term problem for them, or is it just maybe Ole's first 4 season in charge, just needs to get used to it more?
See, that's tough because I don't think a lot of Man United fans actually believe that Ollie's the one to. I mean, he might get a trophy, but the one that they want desperately is the Premier League. He will. I can't see him getting them the Prem. But a trophy, I can see him doing it. The fact that they got 3 semi-finals, I mean, I know about getting to the semis and finals and stuff like that and not winning it, because we've done that quite a few times as well. It's not great, because then if it keeps happening, the players might start losing belief. The thing is, with Man United, as good as their attack is, they're not the finished product, and that's what you've got to remember. It's just the start of the rebuild. Bruno's just come in. As much as the impact he's made, there's still time to gel even more. I just think I like the saying that if you want to build a team, you've got to build from the back, and that's just where Man United needs it. They just need more better defenders and more structure at the back, and I think they'll be all right. But yeah, it is a bit worrying knowing that they couldn't get to at least one final. I thought they'd be certain to get to the final in this competition, but it's the way it goes in football.
Yeah, well, I think Sevilla have got the reputation of these of being Europa League specialists. They'll play Inter Milan in the final now, who just beat Shakhtar 5-0. 2 from Lautaro Martinez, 2 from Lukaku. How do you guys see what that one going? Inter have been strong in the competition, but because obviously they started in Champions League, they're in the group of death with Dortmund and Barca. But then Sevilla have such a pedigree in the tournament. Who are you guys backing?
Inter for me.
I think Inter, but they play in the Italian league. It's not known for its pace and pressing. And watching Sevilla game, bloody hell, they press you high. They don't stop running. So I think if they're not careful, if they try to just play around thinking, yeah, we got the ball, they could be in for a real shock. So they just don't be complacent, and then they'll win.
I think with Inter, sorry.
Go on.
I just think with Inter, they've got quality over Seville. I know Man United did, but the thing that sets them apart is they're so structured. They'll pick you apart. They'll wait for their opportunities and they'll take it. They'll rarely give you. Seville will get more chances against Man United than they will with Inter. Really, I'd expect. They
didn't have any chances against us. Just the 2 goals they scored.
Yeah,
honestly, that was it.
I know that is true, but if I was to say before the Man United game, I'd expect them to get more chances against Man United, just because Inter are just so compact, and they're patient.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Inter just had that thing United lack, which is clinical finishing. I think Lukaku's shown that the last few games. Martinez drilling in as well. I think it would be a close game. Not going to be a high scoring one, but because like I said, both teams are they're more organised than the others in tournament. But we'll leave Europa, go to Champions League. We'll start with the biggest one. Bayern Munich absolutely ruining Barcelona already. Sechin was officially announced he was sacked today. I think people would have backed Bayern purely because of how many they've put 7 past Spurs this tournament, 7 past Chelsea with aggregate ties. But I don't think anyone saw this one 8-2 coming. Before I get into how do you guys just analyze how do you see that one?
I actually still haven't gotten over it. I mean, I expected Bayern to win, as we said in the last show, but 8-2. Barca have gone down, man. I know they haven't had a good season, but you still don't expect them. You don't go, you know what, I'm going to think Barca are going to lose 8-2 tonight. It just doesn't happen. It was a shamble by everyone in that team.
Yeah, they're in trouble. I mean, I actually I watched Barcelona live a couple of years ago when we were playing against them, and they beat us 4-2, something like that, and the scoreline really didn't reflect because it was quite an even game. But while watching it, you just see the play just dictated by Messi. He's getting older now. Can he keep doing that? And then, to be honest, they're probably going to lose him soon. And when they lose him, they are in trouble. I didn't realise how much that guy carries that team. Because if you take him out, they're so average to what they're known for. It's quite an old team, to be fair. You talk about Messi. I mean, PK was a brilliant centre back. Old. They're losing a lot of their. I can't believe they just got rid of players like Arthur. They brought him in because they're trying to refresh. Like, he's a young player, got good potential, and they're refreshing in midfield. And they go and sell him like first 2 years. Like they're in trouble.
You get Pjanic, who's older again.
Yeah, he's older. I don't understand that. Like, they're in trouble once they lose Messi, I tell you.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, even though it finished 8-2, when it was 1-1, Barca could have easily gone 2-1 or 2-1 up because Messi created those chances. I think Busquets might have just flicked onto the post. And I think Suarez might have a chance as well. But the thing that I couldn't get over was you have Griezmann on the bench. Because we talked about it last week, didn't we? I think, Jack, I don't know if you were there, Tom, you were there. We said it has to be Griezmann up top just to cope with Suarez's like immobility because he's just slowing down, I think, and that was showing in the game. So for me, why Arturo Vidal played 90 minutes was generally beyond me. Because if you ask me, I cannot pick out one thing he did the whole game. But then you have Fati on the bench, Griezmann on the bench, Dembele, he couldn't play the 90, but he's fit enough to make something. So I think sacking the manager is, like, even though he hasn't had the longest time, because his incompetence, it deserves to happen. Because he tried Vidal in the league a couple of times in that not number 10 role, but like a further forward role. He wasn't able to track back because he's just lost that ability now. He's getting older. But then when you play Griezmann in the league, they won. They played Griezmann against Napoli, started him, they won. So can you guys see any reason for him to like go back, put Vidal back in, bench Griezmann, and then start Suarez, even though he's slowing down? He scored the goal, fair enough, but how much can you put on the manager for that game?
Oh, massive. When I saw that lineup, I thought that is a tactic of a worried manager. He went so negative, like he set up negative, but it didn't even seem that way when they played. It was just all over the place. 2 strikers, and then I think it was Vidal just behind them. Like, Vidal's meant to be a holding midfield. I don't understand. That just seems to me like a manager who didn't know what he was doing, or he's just so nervous that he just thought, like, they're just going to be too much, so try and like shut up shot and hope for your luck and a counter. But then Barca don't do that. Barca press. They've never sat back. They're always open. So, I mean, as much as you want to stop your opponent's strengths, you don't want to stop your own strengths because they need to press, and then they just, I don't know, that just wasn't a good lineup at all.
I mean, massive. Quickly going, you said, how much does the manager take responsibility? I mean, he takes most of it, but again, the players. I know it's hard to find any energy when you're 5-2 down, but it's just there's no fight. It's like they accepted. I'm not saying like you would at like 5-2, but you got to show fight. They didn't. I mean, and now reports today showing Ronald Koeman is now going to be manager of Barcelona. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose 8-2, I think it's easy to just like overanalyze the bad performance. Like, I think we wouldn't buy it. Barca have some problems higher up as well. I think they've sacked Eric Abidal as well as the director of football there. And like I said, bringing in Koeman now. But how good were Bayern? Because for me, Bayern attacking, I mean, they're unbelievable from Lewandowski all the way to the fullbacks in Davies and Kimmich. Because Davies had an amazing assist for Kimmich, but then you wouldn't really think Kimmich playing right back at the same time, would you? But
they got caught out quite a few times.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So they're playing against Lyon, I believe, who beat City 3-1. Another shock, we'll get onto that. But what Lyon capitalized on City was the high line of City, if you look at the goals they scored. So, and that's what Barca almost were able to do, but just couldn't quite get it done. So as much as Bayern scored 8 goals, do you think there's still a bit of a liability at the back with Boateng and Alaba there?
Yeah, there is, but in relation to them playing Lyon, I can't see Lyon being strong enough to hold off their attack and to outscore Bayern. I just can't see that. The only team I can see in the competition beating them is PSG, but then I think PSG just set up so nicely for Bayern. I honestly think that if Bayern don't win, that is a chance gone. They should be all over this. I expect them to win this whole thing.
Yeah, well, we'll go on to that. Yeah, go on, Jack.
There's always going to be that sense of, oh, we might get caught here when the fullbacks play so high and you play such a high line, not high, obviously, but when you play such high press, you see how quickly, as soon as Barcelona went back to their centre half or Barcelona went back to the centre half or goalkeeper, Bayern ran up straight away. You can see they're all back four in the line. But when you play like that, you're always going to be like, we're always going to get caught once or twice. And if they cope with that, then they'll breeze through this competition.
Yeah, well, we'll go on to that City Lyon game now. I think going into it, there's a lot of pressure on Pep and the City team just to get to a semi-final, which hasn't done yet with City, or just City in general, really. This is a really good chance. Lyon were, I think, a bit underestimated. They were like one of the lower ranked teams, if you want to call them that. But for me, we talked about Setien not being a great tactician, but for me, the Lyon manager Rudy Garcia got a spot on, because when he took Depay off, whether it's for fitness or for just tactical reasoning, and Dembele on, I was like, interesting here. Depay's playing well, but Dembele's got 2 goals. However, it did come. Toko can be starting. I think he was vital for them because just he's a target man, how the ball up gave to Depay. And then defensively, fair enough, the defense, they put the heart on the line, they're like whole body in the line, they're blocking everything. They got lucky. We'll talk about the City chances, but how much you have to praise Lyon for just sticking to their game and just outplaying City in the end.
All credit has to go to them. I think, yeah, you can go back to City's missed chances and that, but Lyon were excellent. They stuck to their game plan very well. I mean, a lot of teams in the Premier League this year, going to Norwich, Wolves, us, have shown that City are so vulnerable. So they defended very well. And like you said, they got the ball up to their 2 strikers and played off them very, very well. So yeah, huge credit.
Yeah, you saw it a lot this year, especially. I think City got found out. People started to realise that they got problems at the back. I just think with City, unless you're a big team, if you're one of the teams that you feel like you're going to get more dominated against them, I'd just sit back and you're going to get chances. I'd play like how they did play, like 2 up front with a target man and a fast-paced runner. I think that's your best bet with City because they are so open at the back. It's ridiculous. Now it's different. It could be different because they've realised that themselves. They've gone straight out and got Nathan Ake, who I think is probably one of the most underrated centre-backs who was in the Prem last year. I think he's a brilliant centre-back. The only problem is, I think I didn't realise that Laporte was a left-footed centre-back. So that's 2 of them. I mean, you see right-footed centre-back partnerships all the time, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I think that's a good signing. Whether it'll stop openings because they're so open, I don't know. It will shore up the defence definitely, but we'll have to see how much of an impact that transfer is.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about defence. So Lyon played 3 at the back against Juve as well. I think everyone this season just seen Guardiola go 4 at the back. When Laporte's fit, we'll partner with someone either Garcia, Fernandinho, Stones, Ottoman, whoever. For some reason, this game, out of the blue, whether it's due to their lack of strength at the back or because Leon go through at the back, Pep's changes through at the back as well. And I just don't think it worked. It didn't work for their midfield. Couldn't really like control the ball as they normally do. Gundogan wasn't in the game, and then that just left De Bruyne to almost do it all the work himself when it came to creating. So, I mean, how do you guys analyze what Pep did? Because essentially, I think that cost the game, that change of formation.
Yeah, it's like what I said with Barcelona. As much as you want to, when it comes to the big games, like when it means a lot, even though City one's really surprising because I could sort of understand it if you're the weaker team coming into the fixture, but City are so much more stronger than Lyon. The fact that they changed it to stop Lyon's like match up against them, I find it strange. Like, you should just stick to your strengths. Like with Barcelona, I said, as much as you're worried about stopping your opponent's strengths, you've got to focus on your own. And City changing that, I actually think that as their downfall because they would have created a lot more chances, I reckon, in that game if they stayed to. Man City like to overrun the midfield a lot, and I think they should have stuck to doing that. Like you said, De Bruyne had to basically do everything. As much as he does do a lot normally, he needs help. And
Yeah.
I reckon they should have just stuck to overrunning the midfield. Like, I don't see why he changed it, especially against Lyon, who they should. You'd expect the calibre of Man City to beat Lyon. I don't understand it.
I get why he did it. I get why he did it because I think Lyon last year, again, City played Lyon and they played through the back. And I can't remember what the scores were, but they lost one of them, I think. So obviously Pep changed because he has a lot of respect for them. But I've never seen him do it before. Like, loads of teams in the Prem play through the back, but he's never changed. I just think he's shown a lot of respect to them because he knew they were a good team.
Too much.
But I just feel like, he showed too much respect to them. To begin with, once they went to 4, I thought they were battering them, but missed chances.
Yeah, well, I think the first missed chance was very early on. I think Sterling and Jesus could both go in the box, but Sterling just couldn't find Jesus when he tried to pass it across. But then the big one, well, there was 2 big ones. So before Leon took the lead at 2-1, Jesus missed a back post chance, they scuffed it. Then an even bigger one, Sterling the chance to equalise it, completely open goal, and he just skied it. I mean, obviously it happens, but for a professional footballer, Champions League quarter final, it's unacceptable in my opinion.
Joe, I would expect you to score that, not gonna lie. I would expect all of us to score that. I'm not even joking. That is shocking. That will haunt him for like, he's gonna have that for the rest of his life now, even past he's gonna see that all over social media. Anytime he misses a chance, they're just gonna put that post up. I mean, it's helped out Harry Kane. Not gonna lie. All I see is post of the reason why Harry Kane didn't pass, but joking aside, that I've always said Sterling's weird. Like, he'll put a good finish in, but then sometimes it is finishing so bad, and you just think, imagine if his finishing was like top, like world class, because he don't have world class finishing. But imagine if he was, because he gets so many chances. He scored 19 goals this season. I don't even think that his finishing is as good as like the best out there. So I don't know. It don't surprise me when seeing that it was him that done that. But he should not be missing that. That's shocking.
I was so shocked. Since he's come to City, well, like the last 2 seasons, those are the goals he scored throughout his City career now. There's always a few outside the box, but it's always those late runs to the back post, played across the ball, just tap in. All he had to do, head over the ball. But no, I think he leant back slightly and he scuffed it. I don't even think he scuffed it. He just put too much contact on it. It just flew. Honestly, I screamed. It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like blame it, just like we talked about formation, but score that goes 2-2, they didn't go on the other end and score like that. It's harsh on him, but at the end of the day, he just had to score this, I guess. But
Can I say one thing? If that was my club, if my team did that, he's getting the whole blame.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I get if he scored, it's only 2-2, but they had so much momentum. They were on top, and it was 50, 60 seconds later they go and score. Which I think it was that goal that should have been a foul.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Are you on about was it?
no, that was the third goal. The one before was the one that
Edison.
was the.
Oh, okay.
Well, Edison, in my opinion, was I thought for all three of them. So we'll go goal by goal. So the first one was ball got put in behind. I believe Toko can be chasing it down. Garcia puts in a great recovery tackle. For some reason, Edison's just there, like near the edge of the box against the goal line, and Cornet nicely whips around him. It was a good finish, don't get me wrong, but Edison's at blame for me there because Garcia's, and Walker a bit, but because no one else helped him come back. But Edison's
That
just
was
completely
a
out of position.
fantastic finish, can I just say? Oh my God. With them, you've just got to hear you don't want to put hardly that much power in it. You just got to hear so sweet that the curl, because that shot has to literally shape perfectly to go in. I thought that was a brilliant finish.
Yeah, it was a good finish, but again, for me, if Edison just stayed on his line, which there was no need to come out, it could have been fine. But
I've been saying it for so long.
Yeah, so but we're going to the second goal there. So that was the one where the ball was initially played to Toko Kandi. He lets it go through his legs. All the City defenders think it's offside and they stop running. And all of a sudden, Dembele, in my opinion, he's accidentally tripped the put up, and then he's ran on and scored. Again, poor keeping from Edison, in my opinion, because it's gone under him. And I think he could see the goal like that against Spurs once as well. Maybe last season Champions League against Son. But
You don't think that's a foul?
I think it is a foul. Yeah, I think it's a foul, to be honest. It's accidental, but
yeah, it's accidental, but it is a foul. Yeah, and I just think they were hard done by, but in the end, Leon did well. But yeah, they were hard done by. It should have been a foul.
Yeah, then the third goal was all Edison just poor keeping again. But I think we've just going to see that from him now. So we're going to the other half of the ties. First one was PSG Atlanta. Atlanta were scored a nice goal from Pasalic. Alejandro Gomez creating so many chances. It looked like he hobbled off the injury, not hobbled off, but limped off the injury. Not too sure about him. They're going strong. They're keeping PSG out. We have to bring Mbappe on for the last half an hour. And then Freuler, the centre mid, I believe, got injured.
Yeah.
And all the subs are made. They're down to 10 men. And PSG out of nowhere. Marquinhos scores. Then probably either he's a forward. I don't think anyone would have back Choupo-Moting to score the win in the 93rd minute.
No.
What do you guys think of that game?
Oh, mate, when he came on, I was like, what's the point of bringing him on? He's literally bloody shocking. What you doing? And he goes and he gets 2 goal contributions, don't he? Because he was involved with both of them. Like, oh my God. I was so surprised when he done that. That was a nice pass. I don't know. I think was it the last one?
No, so the first one, he crossed it into
that is a brilliant pass. I thought it was offside at first. I thought it was quite close, but thankfully it was onside because I did want them to win. But yeah, I was very surprised Choupo-Moting was the person. Although, can I just say, that PSG side was crap. Neymar. See, the thing is with Neymar's performance, I think he done good, but then I think he done bad. He's got so much ability, but I just think his attitude and mentality is all wrong. He just thinks he's the shit. Like he skills up everyone. He skills up. What's the point of skilling up everyone when you've got no output?
Bro. I know he's missed chances, but he's so good.
I'm sorry, not just on about that. So he's honestly. I said when I was watching it. He could easily be the best player in the world if he wasn't. I don't know how to say. Like the mentality was better. Like
Is it arrogant? Like, do you think that?
yeah, because he does too much. Just pass the ball. So many times I saw him trying to skittle, which he done it loads and done well. I'm not even on about the missed chances, even though he
Yeah.
should have took them. Like he missed a sitter in like the first 10 minutes, I think it was. But I saw him so many times just lose the ball because he's just trying too much. Like, and then Mbappe comes on. I thought he had a brilliant impact.
Yeah. The thing
And
with
to be honest, I think they complement
Okay.
each other.
Yeah, but the only thing I say with the dribbling is, so you could see, I think I could see they completed 16 dribbles, which is the most of any Champions League game ever. I think the reason he took on so many because he was in the same position as Messi was, as Ronaldo was against Leon, as De Bruyne was. I think he realized Sarabia is no help to him. Icardi is useless. He's got no other attacking options with him. I think he knew, okay, even though I've missed these chances, it's all down to me now.
Yeah, but you can't
It's a
think
bit of
like
arrogance,
that.
I guess.
You can't think like that. You're in the wrong sport if you think like that.
But was he wrong though? Were Sarabia and Icardi helping him?
There was one thing. There was like one situation where Neymar got in down the left, and he's gone for the shot. But the reason he's gone for the shot is because Icardi should have been. He's in a brilliant position to get in there, and he's just got no enthusiasm, no momentum to get in there. So it's just made Neymar have to shoot, and then the midfield was just. Oh, I don't know. They just weren't getting involved. It was just literally Neymar until Mbappe came on. He had more help, but Icardi, I would rather Cavani than Icardi. I know he's gone now, but I just don't see what the thing is about Icardi. I don't think he's that great of a player, to be honest.
That's why Neymar takes it upon himself. He doesn't have trust in his teammates.
Yeah, well, that's just, you can't go like that though. As much, I mean, it's bad from PSG. It's bad from him. That's a bad situation, to be honest, because you can't as good as you are. You can't do it yourself. You just can't.
If you say that though, if you had someone in your team that you knew, like, if you gave them the ball 9 times out of 10, they're going to lose it, wouldn't you all go, okay, I'll take my chance to get this fullback and skill him and put it into the box, or try and take it myself rather than, you know what, I'll just play this easy pass and then they'll play another easy pass and then they'll play another easy pass.
Yeah, but you can't do everything yourself because you're just going to get so found out. I saw him lose the ball so many times. I agree he needs help, but then he can't just say that is arrogance. As much like they're still good players. Like just because they might be having a bad game, they can still do something, can help. You can't. It's a team sport. You can't just keep dribbling about. As much as I'm not saying he didn't have success because I saw him mug off so many players. But then I saw a lot of the times that he also done too much and lost the ball. So yeah, he's a frustrating player.
Yeah, it's a problem that PSG, the team is too good for Ligue 1, but not good enough for Champions League. Because it's not that hard to win Ligue 1, so they can just play.
We said this a lot.
Sarabia.
I don't think it's their team's too good. I just think Neymar and Mbappe are too good for that league.
Yeah.
If they didn't have those two players, they probably would win it still, but it wouldn't be like, it would be close. Them two players that's it. The rest of the squad are decent, but they're not that good.
Yeah, they've always had them like world class. Like before them, it was Ibra and Cavani.
Yeah,
they've always had them sort of like players. If you watch that league, you'll just you understand how slow that league is, and with it just a bit of, if you got so much quality like PSG and the money they have, when a league is so slow, players will just, them PSG quality players will just pick you off, and that league will make you look good. I'm not saying Neymar and that, they are good, but even the others, they'll make them look extra good. I mean, I'll give you this for an example. Tottenham signed Ndombele from that league. As much as he's good, right, he never had fitness or energy problems in that league. comes to the Premier League and it's the hardest thing he's ever done, and he just can't cope. 20 minutes in a game in the Premier League, and he looks like he's just played a full 90. But if you put him in that league, which he was last year, doesn't happen to him. It's just the league is just so slow.
PSG rest the whole first team in the league, not even cup competitions.
Yeah.
They rest the whole team for a big game on the weekend in the league during the week. That's how shit the league is.
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know how, well, I probably do not. I actually still don't know how they've never gone unbeaten in the whole league.
Oh, have they not?
No,
No.
I don't think
my
so. They always
God,
lose
that's
one game
shocking.
or 2 games. I think it's so bad.
Yeah,
that
I think I
is
remember the game early in the season. I think they just like rested the whole team. You know, like 3 or 4-0 down to the team at half time, but then they brought on a couple of players and brought it back eventually, just because it's a globally side. But we said last week the pressure's all on PSG and Man City. They have to win this one. PSG have Leipzig now. We just knocked out Madrid. I mean, there wasn't much to analyze in that game. I think Madrid just sat too deep and that favoured Leipzig too much.
Yeah.
So how do you see PSG versus Leipzig going?
See, this one's tough. I'd have had a different answer last week because I was not expecting that sort of PSG to turn up. And to be honest, if you would have said Leipzig, Atlanta playing against each other, I'd probably say Atlanta wins that if you put them two against each other. I didn't watch them at who did Leipzig play? Atletico Madrid Leipzig game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that one, but I heard that Leipzig were still good. Their players still performed. The thing is, it's a different tactical style. Are they going to deal with the amount of pressure from PSG? I mean, first of all, you got to understand whether Mbappe plays. Is he going to start? I'd expect he starts this one. I don't think, because if that manager if he gets knocked out by Leipzig, I reckon he gets sacked. I reckon he would have got sacked. If he would have lost it to Atlanta, there was so much pressure on that. He literally got away with that one. And I reckon it's the same if he loses to Leipzig, to be honest. I'm just going to say PSG.
So, Jack, how do you think it's going in Leipzig versus PSG?
I see. Well, going off that performance, you don't know, but there's one thing you probably know for sure. They won't play as bad as they did. There's always one thing. Maybe they might, but there's always probably one thing you can see after bad performance. They won't play the same again. So they're going to only improve. And like Tom said, Mbappe could play. I think he will start again. I think if they can be maybe a couple goals up by 60, 70 minutes, then he comes off. But I think he starts just to make sure they don't go into extra time just before the final. So I think they'll want it done in 90 minutes. So I think Mbappe starts, and I think PSG win it.
Yeah, I just think Mbappe will start this time because I reckon that Thomas Tuchel, I just think too much pressure's on him and he's thinking, forget this, he's starting, I ain't risking that again. He got away with it and he don't want to put himself in that situation again.
Yeah, it's been like a week since that game where he could only play half an hour anyway. So I think it will be a matter of he starts, then eventually will maybe 70th minute or so he'll get taken off. But yeah, like you're saying about the Leipzig game, I don't think many expected them to beat Atletico purely because they lost Timo Werner to Chelsea. So, but I think even though they did win, that's still a big factor for them because for me, Poulsen was appalling in that game. He couldn't hold on to the ball, he couldn't finish it. Like, I can't think of who scored for them. But I think it wasn't like proper.
Apparently, Sabitzer was good and like them.
Yeah, Sabitzer was
midfield.
good, but that's the thing. The midfield was good, the defense was solid. Like Upamecano put in a fantastic performance to stop Diego Costa. But then as soon as he got to Poulsen, he was capping the side as well. He just wasn't he wasn't the quality that you need to get yourself Champions League semi-final or final. So I think against PSG, that will be massively into PSG's favour, because if the defence isn't tested by him, they could just take the ball back really easily and give it to Neymar, give it to Mbappe. And I can't see PSG win that one, even though I can see they win the Atlanta one. So it's got PSG, Leipzig, Bayern, and Lyon. So do you guys both think Bayern to lose now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To lose. 100%.
Fair enough then. And then going to transfer news, the biggest one that just came through in the last couple of hours. David Silva, we talked about last week. Seen that Lazio had everything confirmed, medicals are getting completed. Then out of nowhere, Real Sociedad completed his medicals in Italy. Then they secretly agreed to deal with his agents or with himself. Came out of nowhere. It seems like the only factor that separates them is that Sociedad's in Spain, where he just wants to maybe go back home. I mean, how surprised were you guys when you saw that?
Very surprised.
Yeah, very, because once you see that any player that is basically doing or done their medical, that is done. I'm not surprised that he would want to go to Real Sociedad though, just because it's in Spain. But I was surprised that it happened, because it got to that stage where you just expect nothing can stop it at all.
Yeah, he's probably thinking he doesn't have to learn another language. So he thought we'll go back to Spain, where he probably, I'm not saying Sociedad was where he was born, but going back to his home country, Spain, probably just easier for him.
Yeah, and then correct, there's been no updates on Jadon Sancho, just saying we're waiting for something to happen now. If it does happen, then Tottenham, I don't think anything happened in Tottenham.
We're signing Joe Hart.
Oh yeah, Joe Hart, that's it.
Come
I knew
on.
something there. Yeah, what do you make that 2-year deal, I believe? Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Like, let's face it, he's not going to really play. I don't even think he's going to be a backup. I reckon he's going to be, because we just lost Vorm. So basically, I'm all for it because he's got experience. He's won loads of trophies. He's England. I think the reason we're definitely getting him is because he's English. So he hits one of the English criteria. So we can then have another spot for a European player. His leadership qualities. He's been a captain. He's had good English caps. He knows the league. He's going to be hungry. So for a third keeper, I'll take it. Well, I don't mind that at all. It's only like 30 grand wages as well. He got like a 20 grand decrease from when he was at Burnley. Yeah, I think that's all. I mean, I'm not excited by it, but I can understand it. Like, there's loads of people saying, like, why are you signing Joe Hart? I'm like, I just don't see the problem with it. I think it's a good bit of business, I guess.
Yeah. You see, Wilfried Zaha today was linked with, I think, PSG and Borussia Dortmund. I think there's one other team as well. But
yeah, there was. I can't remember, to be honest.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
No, because us and Everton were linked with them last season, but couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zaha is an interesting one because throughout the week we saw a couple images and videos with him almost begging to go to Arsenal. I don't think as a club we can even afford him, but do you guys think you can pull it off at PSG or Dortmund? Maybe Dortmund will open up a Sancho deal for United as well.
I don't see him going Dortmund unless Sancho goes.
Yeah, but I think he would do good in both leagues because they're...
he'd rip up the French league.
Yeah, he would. But he probably would the Bundesliga as well. It's just whether they want to go there. I think he wants to stay in the Premier League. But like you said, Arsenal wouldn't be able to afford him after paying 72 million for...
But why would Arsenal go for him when they got Pepe?
No, I don't think they would. I'm just saying...
Yeah, I know, but I can't see Arsenal getting him because people say, but he can go on the other side. But then you've got Saka or Aubameyang who plays there. Like, probably Arsenal fans are probably going to want to just keep playing Saka there if instead of going for Zaha. Like, I can't see... I mean, if Arsenal get him, as much as it'd be a good player to get, I think it'd be a bit stupid in a way because you ain't got a lot of money right now, like us, especially with the coronavirus. So you're trying to not waste as much money, and that defence needs sorting out. So I can't see Arsenal spending money on an attacker like Zaha, to be honest.
Yeah. But we'll go into Arsenal for a bit because I think there is something we talked about. So it seems like Aubameyang's deal is done. We're just waiting for him to come back from holiday to just get all of the, I think, probably media stuff done. Then we'll announce it. The Leo sent by Gabriel apparently making. I think we've agreed to deal with him, but he's deciding where he wants to go now, whether it's us or Napoli. And then Thomas Partey as well. I think we're progressing with Partey himself, but we don't want to pay that 50 million.
And they're saying you have to.
Yeah, and they're saying we have to. So, I mean, I'm happy, obviously, we're making all these progress that we need to. But I'm also a bit disgraced as a fan because last week, I want to say, 55 employees are made redundant.
Yeah.
And then Raul Sanlehi, who's a big transfer guy for us over the past few seasons, he's been let go as well. Apparently, that was more due to, well, he's been let go as, like, they blamed it on Corona, saying that he's had to leave because of that, just get payments back up as well. But apparently, there's also a bit of a spat between him and the Cronkies.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of that? Arsenal, we signed Willian as well, remember, for I think like 220k a week. But then we let all these staff members go, like loads of scouts have gone.
Yeah.
For me, it's a disgrace. How do you guys see it?
Bro, can I just say, if that was Daniel Levy doing that, we would have got absolutely fucking destroyed on like social media, like ridiculously. Like that is shocking. As much as, I mean, I know Daniel Levy done something here when the coronavirus hit. He never, what's the word when someone redundant? He never made him redundant. He just decreased it. But making someone redundant and then, I don't think
not just someone 55 employees.
Yeah, did Arsenal really need to do that? Are you struggling that much with money?
There's no way, because the owners are billionaires. There's no way we can be struggling that much.
I don't understand that. Like,
and then a week later they go and I know it was on a free. Willian was on a free, but the wages.
How much
put
is
that
the
into
wages?
their pocket. Reportedly 220.
I think. Yeah.
220k.
What a 3-year deal.
Shut up. 220.
That's what reports saying.
I don't know though, because I swear I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure DT tweeted on Twitter about people talking about his wage. And I think he said he's only on like 100 and something. But I don't know.
I mean, whatever it is, though, I mean, surely you got, as a club, you have to decide what's your priority here. Do you want to continue keeping your values as a club that's got you here, or I mean, if we had to choose between keeping these 55 staff members or signing a Willian or someone big like that, I think even as a fan, you want to see signings every single summer. You want to see someone come in. But again, you have to choose, what do you want? Like, do you want your club to keep its values and almost take the high road? It might cost you a couple of points next season, but you know that these real life people have a job as well. Like, for me, it's just a hard one to analyze because I think it's a huge letdown as a Met fan.
Yeah. Those people will find it hard to get another job, especially with all this COVID. And Willian would have found another club, would have found another club to pay him 200 grand or whatever it is a week. I mean, yeah, like Tom said, no, he didn't say that, but if that was Man United, I'd be very disappointed in them. I just feel like it's unmoral in a way.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the staff members who let go, I can't really pronounce his name, so I want to try it, but he's the one that brought Fabregas to the club, Bayer into the club.
Yeah, big chief scout, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Francis something, like I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a huge scout that we just let go, and I can't see a reason for it. But I believe that all the transfers, I don't know if you guys know any transfers news that's happening, but that's all that I've got. Nothing on Chelsea and Havertz quite yet, just yet, sorry.
End on Bele.
Yeah, I mean, has there been any improvements for him and Inter Milan?
Well, what they're saying is they're focusing on Europa League first But the thing is, right, I can't see Daniel Levy selling his record signing after one season. The only problem is, I don't know. I mean, if we got the money back for him, maybe we would take it and just think, move on. If Mourinho's that adamant that he's just not going to, because what's the point of keeping a player who the manager thinks they're just not going to work, they're not working hard enough. And it wasn't even just Mourinho. I mean, Pochettino came out and said it, and he even stopped playing him at one point. There is apparently Intel don't have the money for him for like the 60 million is what we'd probably want, around 60 something million. Yeah. So they're going to involve money. Well, I think money and Skriniar. I would take that as long as we use the money they give us and go and get someone like we've been reported to be interested in or closely linked to Sabitzer. I would have Sabitzer all day long or Jack Grealish, but I just can't see Daniel Levy after one season getting rid of his record signing. I just can't see that happening.
It might be another quickly. When I want to say 2 seasons ago, Mourinho wanted to sell Martial, and our board blocked it and said no, he's not going. It could be another one of those. He wants to get rid of him, then Belly and Levy look it's been one season.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he will, but you never know what could happen. Things could turn out wrong. Mourinho could get sacked this season.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
I mean, from my point of view, I mean, it's hard to say because you don't see what happens in training and then behind closed doors. From my point of view, like, I don't want us to sell him because I think he has got ability of a world-class player. If you watch him, he's fantastic. There's a world-class player in there. Why would you want to get rid of him? It's just the fact I would try and make it work. But if you can't, you've got to replace him with someone like a Grealish or a Sabitzer. We've seen it so many times. We signed Sissoko, Son, and a couple more players. Like, we nearly sold Son after his first season, and then we decided to keep him because he was like still finding his feet, and he was like you saw glimpses, but he wasn't there. And look at him now; he's like our best player. Look at Sissoko. All right, I still hate Sissoko, and I'm not one of them fans that gasses up Sissoko, but from what he was to what he has shown, even though the technical ability still isn't bloody there, he's showing like a good player. Like, and mate, he was like the worst son I've ever seen in my life a couple of years ago. So after one season, I think it'd be mental to get rid of him unless you get a very good deal and you act upon replacing him. Because you can't just get Skriniar and then we need another centre mid now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the other thing is he might actually want to leave because I think there were a couple of reports that him wanting to leave, but just the way that Mourinho's come in and not targeted him, but there's the whole thing during lockdown, wasn't it? Him and Mourinho went to a park and were training individually.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see, but I think everyone will at least want to see him for another season.
Yeah, maybe the Prem, just not him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the workload for him. The thing is, though, there was a report, like, I think it was Fabrizio Romano said, as much as Inter are interested in him, Ndombele is unsure of whether the move to Inter Milan is good for him. He's unsure on the move, so whether that means he wants to stay or whether he's just unsure on Inter as a club, I don't know. So there's like there's like a lot of unknowns about that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think Everton this morning were linked with Alan from Napoli, and then the other big transaction I think of is Thiago to Liverpool. It was like I think 4-year deals in place, personal terms are all basically done, but then Liverpool just feel like to pay that 30 mil. I mean, I think it's a great price for a player like him, either he's like 28, 29 now.
Yeah, but the problem is what they're saying, and it's in theory, right, it's in Liverpool's court because he's got, like, in 5 months, they can get him on a free. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Ericsson all over, basically. Do you pay 30 million now, or do you wait a couple of months, get him on a free, and then you use him next season? Because I think a lot of people, when you see reports and it says you can get him on the free in 5 months, I think, oh, just get him in January, but he actually can't play until the following season. So it's just whether you're basically getting. I like to look at it as you're getting a loan deal of a 30 million. In a way,
Yeah.
it's a 30 million loan deal because you would get him anyway. After I would, to be honest, how much do they need him? That's the thing. How old is he?
29, I
28,
think.
29, 29.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay 30 million. I'd pay either 20 million or less. That's how much I would say. I think 30 is too
But
much.
I don't know.
Say
I thought that
20 million or less?
because of the contract. It's in Liverpool's court.
Yeah, I don't know, 100% 1 year left. I mean, yeah, you go
I
peanuts.
mean, look at Ericsson. He went for 15 million. Ericsson does not go for 15 million when he's not on a 1 year. He goes for like 70 million.
That's
Ericsson.
January. That's 6 months.
Huh?
Didn't he go in January?
Yeah, but
Yeah, you got 6 months.
We would have still got only like 20 something million from it. No one would have paid 30 million for him. Because we would have taken it. Daniel Levy would have
30
taken
million is
it.
worth it.
Really?
If Liverpool don't go for him, I want him. 30 million, that's a
Yeah.
bargain. He's so good.
Yeah, but okay, say he's on 4-year contract, right? And you want him so bad and you'll pay anything for him. What do you think his valuation is out of like a 4-year contract, money-wise?
What do you mean? Like,
So, say he's on a 4-year contract, how much would you expect him to be worth? Normally? 60.
But what, at this age?
Yeah. You don't change his age.
Yeah, like 60, 70.
70.
But
I
think he's so good.
He is a good player. He's technically good, but I don't think he.
I say between 60 and 70, in there.
I'm not saying 30 million wouldn't be a good deal. It's just the fact that it's Liverpool can dictate. That is Liverpool's deal, basically. When someone's at 1 year of the contract and they want to go to a team, that team that are getting him, they're in charge, basically. They dictate everything. Because if the player wants to go, because the other team can't do nothing about it because they're not going to sign a new deal. So it's in their head. It's like, all right, do we try and get a bit of money or lose them on a free? So if they can get it down to 20 million, that'd be a brilliant deal.
So what would you say if it was Tottenham? Would you want your club to be like, let's get him at 30 because they're not lowering, or you know what, just wait to get him for free? Because if you get him for free, he's another year older.
I'd probably want us to, if we really wanted to be fair, if we sold Ndombele, I'd want him anyway because that fits that role. I'd want us to do the 30 million, but then I support Tottenham, and we know Daniel Levy. When a deal's in Daniel Levy's hands, he's going to be like the biggest arse to the other thing. Like he's going to try. He'll bring that down so much lower. He'd get
it's
it
not
down
like
to 20
Thiago's
or
like
nothing.
26, that would turn 27. He's 29. When you get to that age,
that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
slowly
30 million.
drips.
Yeah, but here's the thing for me. From Liverpool, they just won the title by a far big margin. Fair enough. City are 100% going to. They've already signed a few players. They're 100% going to sign more. Chelsea are signing this massive attack. United will eventually get a few signings done to bolster the defense. Tottenham and Arsenal, they're not there yet,
mention them.
But eventually we will get there. So Liverpool can't just stay there because they're not going to replace Mane, Salah, Firmino, are they? They're not going to replace Van Dijk, Trent, Robert.
No.
They got their backup left back as backup. Alisson secured his place. Joe Gomez basically secured his. That midfield three, you can't keep running them every single game. And what Thiago does is he gives that more creative option as well as a midfielder. Because right now, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, they can go forward, but they don't have that flair ability that Thiago has to create these extra chances for Mane, for Salah. So for me, that million, even though it's just 1 year, it can make such a big difference over that 1 year. Just for more, they have to play more games now, not more, just more games in general because they have Champions League action as well. Because think about last season, how many times they had to play the whole youth team in these cup games. For me, it's
another midfielder could be the difference between winning the league again and not.
exactly.
Yeah, like
So I
a
think
new
just
spark.
have to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, but it's just the fact that when you're in charge of that, I mean,
It's
it's not
tempting
even
to go
just
for the free deal.
it's not even just Daniel Levy. A lot of chairmans are going to be like, "Oh, is it worth it?" This because when you're or whoever's in charge, when you're in charge of the money, like you want to just make sure every bit of penny is like worth it. They'll go.
Spend as little as
That's why.
possible.
Like Daniel Levy, I'm just using my team for example because I don't think it's right for me to speak on someone else's because I obviously know mine. If Daniel Levy is in a deal like with Højbjerg, we literally had everything done for about 2 weeks, and it took him 2 weeks to get the deal done. You just know with Daniel Levy, for example, he's the type of chairman that if he was in that Liverpool deal, he is taking that deal all the way to the end of the transfer window just to make sure he gets the best possible deal because it's in his hands. He controls it because the player ain't going to sign a new contract. As much
You
as I
might as well
hate it,
you might as well be speaking about Man United, bro.
yeah,
We've got a deal in place. We've got a deal in place with Jadon Sancho, his agent, and everything. But no, Edward Wood wants to be like, yeah, you want 120 million over 3 years? Yeah, we're going to give you 50 million right now. And Dortmund are like, no, we want 80 million right now. No, I'll give you 70. No, you want 90. No, I'll give you 70. But we want 85. No, 70. And just pay that extra 50 million to get him. No, I'll just give you 70. It's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I think the transfer window has been extended a bit to October, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that affects the start of the league as well. Speaking of start of the league, just before we finish, there was a few claims that the fixtures had been leaked. I think by next week we'll know who starts, what starting games are. But
Friday,
I think on the Fantasy Premier League app,
on Friday,
they were leaked. I think it's Arsenal United might be in the first game
United,
as well. Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think we will find out by next week because they have to say by Friday, I believe.
Friday.
Then by next week we'll know Champions League winners, Europa League winners. So we'll start to look forward to next season as well. So yeah, should be an interesting next few days. So yeah, that's it from us. Have a nice.
Before I think it's time to talk. I think